Good morning. It is 9 a.m., 35 degrees outside. Thanks for watching Daybreak on WGRZ Plus. I'm Melissa Holmes. Patrick is up on the roof with some brilliant sunshine. I can't hear you right now. Something's going on with my IFB. So you can talk. Oh, now I can hear you.
We can talk about Melissa now, and she can't hear. Guys, let's talk about her. She can't hear.
I know I couldn't hear. Now I can hear you. So
I'm going to tell you what I really feel. I'm kidding.
How are you? How are things up there? It looks beautiful, despite being a little chilly.
It's a little chilly.
And wait, the anemometer's kind of going behind you.
It is. It's just kind of on a little slow trot. Nothing too crazy like it was last week when we had all the wind.
Yeah. And how are you doing on Twitter withdrawal this morning? X withdrawal.
You know, I'm with the people today. I'm not on social, and I'm just it's nice to just not be. There's
a lot of negativity when you wake up and you look at X right away.
Okay,
so the fact that it's down because of a global outage might be a good thing for everyone's mental health this morning.
So when we use weather Twitter is a different thing, okay?
Okay.
Weather Twitter is a kind of a community of weather people on X worldwide, and we kind of live in the world of forecasting and weather pattern changes, and there's very little hate there. It's kind of a communal thing. It's kind of cool.
A lot of meteorology love it out there, huh?
Across the spectrum. Again, it's kind of the entire weather enterprise shares thoughts, ideas, and it's great. So we don't see as much weather, as much Twitter darkness.
You only get hate when you get the forecast wrong. That's when it gets dark.
There's no real darkness on that. I get frustrated with all the fake stuff everywhere else, where you don't know what to believe. In terms of, and especially with AI coming around.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. We've got a nice looking day. I think the clouds will come and go today with temperatures on the cool side in the low 40s. A light westerly breeze, about 40 to 41 degrees today. There will be a little increase in cloud cover, though. Notice there's some rain and snow showers near Cleveland, and those showers should stay south of western New York. So northern Pennsylvania, you may get grazed with a few rain and snow showers tonight, but all in all, a fairly quiet day today with temperatures right around 40 to 41. Tomorrow morning, we're going to get some clearing. I think tomorrow will feature a little more sunshine with temperatures in the 20s to low 30s, and then numbers tomorrow with mostly sunny skies into the low 40s. So there we go. For the rest of the week, pretty quiet, Thursday included. Friday, some rain showers, and then 40s, it looks like, as we head into the weekend. I will join you downstairs, Melissa, in just a bit.
All right, lovely. Sounds good, Patrick. Thank you. It is 9:02 right now, and a Tonawanda veterinarian is due in court today. She's accused of trying to hide the identity of a missing dog. Kimberly Parkhill Brown faces felony and misdemeanor counts, including falsifying business records and companion animal stealing. Prosecutors say she altered patient logs, changed the dog's microchip, and attempted to conceal the dog's true identity. The dog was later returned to its owner. Parkhill Brown could face up to 4 years in prison if she's convicted. The Jamestown community is in shock and still mourning this morning after the sudden and tragic death of a young girl. Police say a 4-year-old was hit by a school bus yesterday morning near an elementary school and did not survive. 2 on your sides, Natalie Foster joins us live with the details. Natalie.
Melissa, investigators are still trying to piece together exactly what happened yesterday morning, but they did share some details with us about the incident that took place just after 8 yesterday morning at the intersection of Cole and White Hill Avenues near Fletcher Elementary School. Yesterday, police confirmed that a 4-year-old girl was hit by a Panama School District bus that was dropping off an out-of-district student at the time. Some witnesses told 2 on your side that the little girl ran out in front of the bus, but police say that possibility is still under investigation and has not been confirmed. But they did say that the girl was hit by the school bus. Jamestown police officers that responded provided first aid to the girl before she was taken to UPMC WCA Hospital in Jamestown, where she died from her injuries. One parent we spoke to said she was always worried about how busy that road gets during school drop-off.
And this gets so busy in the mornings. It's so everyone's coming in and out. This whole street is just lined with cars every morning. You can't get in or out of here that early it's a very quick drop-off process.
There's a lot of kids that go back and forth across the street. using the crosswalk and getting to and from school. So as far as having a lot of accidents there, we have not. However, it is a major focus on us.
Chautauqua County Sheriff's deputies and state troopers are assisting with this case. The driver of the bus was questioned and standard toxicology will be done as is procedure with cases like this. No results or details from this part of the investigation have been released by police at this time. The Panama School District put out a statement expressing sympathy and concern for the Jamestown District. Jamestown Central Schools is choosing not to comment at this time, but they said that they will have counselors available for any students that are in need this morning. Melissa.
All right, Natalie, really difficult situation down there. We'll stay updated on that, as well as work to learn the identity of that 4-year-old if the family chooses to announce that. In other news this morning, ICE agents are ramping up enforcement across western New York and now all along the Thruway. 37 undocumented immigrants were arrested last week, and a majority of them had valid commercial driver's licenses. Between November 8th and November 11th, Border Patrol agents conducted immigration inspections along the 90. 30 of the immigrants stopped had state-issued CDLs from places like New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and California. The acting Buffalo Sector Chief Patrol Agent released a statement on the arrests. James D'Amato says that there have been major accidents nationwide involving commercial vehicle drivers who cannot read or speak English, which is raising safety concerns on roadways, he says. All 37 immigrants could now face deportation. There's no more money under the couch cushions. That's the message from Buffalo Mayor-elect Sean Ryan. He was in Albany yesterday trying to bring attention to the financial distress that the city of Buffalo is facing. According to Ryan's transition team, Buffalo is on track to end the current fiscal year with a $19 million deficit. And when he brought this to the attention of lawmakers in Albany yesterday, the mayor-elect said that his colleagues were not surprised by this ongoing issue.
And their reaction was, they've been watching Buffalo. They've seen Buffalo dodge some bullets over the year, but they weren't surprised. We put together a plan, a 3-year plan, myself and financial experts, to show that Buffalo has a 3-year plan to recovery. But during those 3 years, we're going to need some help to do our budget closing during that time.
We did ask the mayor-elect about the specifics of that 3-year plan. He said he couldn't share the details yet. House lawmakers are expected to vote today to compel the Justice Department to release all of their files on the Epstein investigation. And lawmakers will hear from Epstein survivors who plan to be on Capitol Hill to try to sway lawmakers. NBC's Alice Barr has details from Washington.
Today, a highly anticipated vote in the House set to compel the Justice Department to release its files on notorious sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
We have nothing to do with Epstein.
After resisting the move for months, President Trump now urging Republicans to vote for the bill and saying he would sign it.
They can do whatever they want. We'll give them everything. Sure, I would. Let the Senate look at it. Let anybody look at it.
That as it grows increasingly clear the House has the votes to pass it.
We were working all weekend and had almost 100 Republicans who were going to vote for a bill in defiance of Donald Trump.
Now, with the president's backing.
Everybody's voting for it.
So you're voting for it because everyone's voting for it.
Everybody's going to vote.
GOP Congressman Thomas Massie, who's been leading the charge for the files release, saying he's worried new investigations President Trump ordered the DOJ to open could block the release of information.
I believe they may be trying to use those investigations as a predicate for not releasing the files.
President Trump, who socialized with Epstein decades ago before cutting ties, has not been accused of any wrongdoing related to Epstein's crimes. Survivors of the years of abuse coming forward to press for transparency, rallying today at the Capitol.
Knowing how popular this is with the American people, that a tremendous amount of pressure placed on the government means things happen. And
hoping for a major step on the long road to accountability. The new investigations President Trump directed the DOJ to take up center on Democrats, who were mentioned along with President Trump and other high-profile figures in a newly released batch of emails that set the stage for today's vote in the House. The Senate could then take the issue up as soon as this week. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Ellis, thank you. And stay with us. We're going to take a quick break and we'll have much more. We'll talk bills. We'll talk Snowvember coming up after the break. Just an update real quick before we get to the bills. Yes, we were talking about the X outage this morning. It's related to a global outage called Cloudflare.
Oh, yeah.
It's a company that runs a lot of different internet sites. I don't know the technical language behind it, but it's not just X. It's also ChatGPT that is down with OpenAI. I'm hearing Spotify is down also, so they're working to get it back up this morning, but it's been down since about 6 o'clock this morning. The other thing that's down is Down Detector. That's one of the first websites that we go to see what websites are down. You go to downdetector.com. It's a legitimate website. Down Detector is down because of all of this. So we'll keep you updated on that Cloudflare issue as soon as we learn more throughout the morning. But yes, if you're like Patrick and me and X, like it's a big screen that shows up on my desktop when I try to open up X. Like a big, huge error screen.
Oh, it's like the blue circle of death?
Something like that.
Like a year ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine just says Twitter isn't downloading.
The post won't load.
Right. What's that?
Not Twitter's not downloading. It says the post won't load.
What's it say? It says, the posts aren't loading right now. Try again.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll keep you updated.
That's nice. Nice break.
It is a nice break.
Well,
Everyone needs to
call a friend. Check in. See how you doing. Right?
Calling a friend.
Call a friend.
Some people are
the Twitter
so
down.
anti-phone call, and they would just rather text paragraphs than talk on the phone.
Whenever you see a phone and it rings and you're like, you get so annoyed. Why? You're calling me?
You're calling me?
Call me? Just text me your thoughts and I can get back to you when I want to. Not now when it's...
Right. And it's always during our nap, too. Like, first of all, how many phone calls do you actually get during the day, and why does it always happen during
They all
nap?
come in between 1:30 and 3. Yes,
we know better when we need to get in touch with each other. Are you napping?
No, they know when we're in our moment of zen.
Yeah. You and I actually talk on the phone, though. There are very few people in my circle where I talk on the phone with them. And some people I also have a hard time talking on the phone with because they don't know how to talk on the phone. Elliot does not know how to hold the phone to his face.
Right. Interesting.
He doesn't know. What's the end that you talk in and listen to. Right. It's all just kind of like here.
Yeah. You and I do like to talk because we have a lot to say. Thumbs just won't do it, right? No. I can't summarize my thoughts with a couple comments with my thumbs.
No.
It's got to be spoken word.
Right. We don't need emojis. I need actual inflection in your voice.
I never use emojis and I never do LOL. I don't understand why you put LOL at the end of something. Is it just like little old lady, laugh old loud? I don't get it.
It can be anything you want it to be, Patrick. We'll just stick with our phone conversations. Okay. And he calls me all the time to talk about the bills. Ranting and raving and celebrating.
But this year's been different. I've been just kind of alone with my thoughts. And I have not shared.
Which actually worries me. You're so quiet about it sometimes. I'm like, are you okay?
I'm just kind of at peace with where we are. And I'm not going to let it dictate.
Well, as Josh said during his press conference, 2 wins and we're Super Bowl bound, 2 losses and we're not going to make the playoffs. And that's
that comment.
You understand it.
It's true. I mean, even within the game. At the beginning of the game, I'm like, oh my gosh, we're not even going to go to the playoffs. Right. At the end of the game, where do we plan the Super Bowl parade? Right? It's just within a game, it's just worlds going up and down. And there's some, so for that reason, just kind of let it breathe. Let's just see what happens.
And the Bills will just put this past game behind them already and looking ahead to Thursday. 2 days from now.
I wouldn't put it behind them. I would use it as a springboard because it was a good win.
Sure. Yeah. Will they build momentum off of it? Let's hope so. The offense, can Josh score another 6 touchdowns on Thursday? Who the heck knows?
Right.
But our sports team looks into some of the keys ahead of this matchup against the Texans.
John Scott here with Vic Carucci. Bills with a very impressive back-and-forth win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Sunday. And it was driven, offensively at least, by the passing game, much maligned, something Vic and I have sat here and been critical of and questioned for weeks at this point in time. Josh Allen looked like an MVP, both throwing and running the football, and it was the new cast of wide receivers and maybe some different scheming by Joe Brady that collection made us look at something that kind of looked familiar.
Yeah, it really was. As much as we want to just say it was all about Josh Allen, that would be the easy analysis. It was more than that. I mean, he was great. He was the great test he has been all season over the course of most of a game. But yeah, this cast of receivers definitely helped the cause. And I love the fact, and we love the fact, that Joe Brady incorporated running backs into this passing game, additionally, taking advantage of the Bucs' weakness in their coverage of backs.
As we look forward to Thursday night down in Houston, one day at a time is what Sean McDermott says in regards to Keon Coleman potentially getting back at least onto the game day active roster. Curtis Samuel and Mecole Hardman both did not participate in Monday's walkthrough, a short week. So maybe Coleman will find his way back on to getting a jersey. Also, Elijah Moore was a healthy scratch. Right. Maybe he, as this thing shuffles once again. On the defensive side of things, same old story with the run defense. Sean Tucker over 100 yards. Collectively, the Bucs over 200 yards. This is problematic. It's been the discussion all season, dating back to week 1 against Derrick Henry. This time it's Sean Tucker. Vic, what can they do at this point? You
know, we listened to Bobby Babich talk and to the media, the defensive coordinator. He's at wit's end. And I don't think it's because he is not doing his best to try to figure this out, along with Sean McDermott. The scheme isn't going to be a magic formula. Players have to do the job better, and they're coached to tackle. They're coached to have good gap integrity. It's not about that. It's about guys just not getting it done and getting trampled. And honestly, I don't see this as an in-season fix.
Bobby Babich saying they got to take what we're practicing, what we're coaching, and bring it into the games. And enough is enough. You just have to get it done, and that's where you're saying exasperated. That's what you kind of felt in the tone from the Bills defensive coordinator. Bills at the Houston Texans. Thursday night, we'll have a pregame edition of Sports Talk Live Plus on WGRZ Plus at 7:30. With Vic Carucci, I'm John Scott for Channel 2 Sports.
I don't know how I feel about, this anything can happen this season kind of mentality, because a month ago we thought that the Bills were Super Bowl bound and that they were going to wrap up the division in November.
Right. Well, I think, and a part of this is how well, the Patriots are playing. Nobody really knew this Drake May was going to be the stud he is, and they're 9-2. My goodness. Yeah. So, yeah, but there's still a lot of season. There's only 6 games left. Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy to think.
Crazy.
But if
and 3 home games left.
Yeah, and if the Bills win on Thursday, they'll be 8-3.
Yeah, and then we've got the Patriots, the Bengals, Cleveland, and Eagles. Right, which hopefully we're at a point where that game really doesn't matter, but we'll see.
Imagine what that Bills-Patriots game is going to... Who would have ever thought that the Bills-Patriots game would be so important?
I got to believe that's where the newcomer in Drake May will be outmatched, because Josh Allen's been there. We know what it's like to be in that kind of game, whereas if it comes to that, so it'll be interesting.
All right. Stay with us. We will talk Snowvember 11 years ago coming up after the
I watched from afar. I was so jealous.
I was here. We'll talk about it. Welcome back, everybody. We're celebrating a program that honors heroes in our community, and it highlights those who go above and beyond in our neighborhoods. It's called Hyundai Salute to Heroes, and this is Rebecca Roll. She's a teacher at Maryvale Primary School, and she went to class yesterday thinking that it was just going to be a normal day until she got a huge surprise. She was awarded a brand new car after being selected as this year's Salute to Heroes honoree. She also, in addition to being a teacher, runs the nonprofit Lyme Western New York, and she started it after her husband, Chuck, was diagnosed with Lyme disease. And she wanted to give others support and direction. For years, she's been raising awareness, advocating, and sharing prevention efforts about Lyme disease and other tick-borne illnesses. I had the pleasure of meeting Rebecca and Chuck when I covered Rebecca and Chuck in my Selfless Among Us series probably 2 years ago. But the effort that she goes to help others understand this disease and to try to get the right testing and the right treatment, the support groups for Lyme Western New York. And actually, Elliot had a strange bite. And I called her right up and I said, I don't know what to do. And she's like, send me a picture, first of all. And she gave me all the sorts of directions. She makes herself so available. But that's outside of her teaching. I don't even really know what she's like as a teacher, but I just know that she's a wonderful person who cares about so many people in our community. and has helped so many families dealing with Lyme disease. So congratulations to Rebecca. How about that for a surprise? You get a brand new car.
That's nice. Very cool.
Yeah,
Very cool.
Congratulations to her. All right, also, Western New Yorkers will soon have a chance to experience some holiday nostalgia. For decades, the holidays weren't complete without a trip downtown to AM&A's to see their iconic Christmas displays. And now, after being lost for years, the displays have been restored by volunteers. Of course, they're no longer at AM&A's, but Dave McKinley explains where they are now.
Well, if nothing else, this provides a chance for you to be AM&Azed once again. And we think you will be.
As these vintage videos from the Channel 2 archive show, anyone of a certain age who grew up in Western New York probably remembers making the annual trek downtown to see the Christmas window displays at AM&A's. But the displays went the way of the once venerable department store until a few years ago, when they were discovered in the basement of a hotel, lovingly restored by a group of volunteer elves who happen to be electricians, painters, and carpenters. St. Gregory the Great began displaying them at their annual Christmas arts and crafts sale. Last year featured the Victorian Christmas display from 1995, one of the last the store ever had. This year, they're going back to what they believe was the very first, 1959's The Night Before Christmas. They'll be on display here at St. Greg's the weekend of November 28th, but this year, there's to be an encore presentation.
And then the first 2 weekends in December, they'll be in Lancaster at Faith United Methodist Church, 5505 Broadway.
Including all 8 tiny reindeer.
On your side in Williamsville, Dave McKinley, Channel 2 News.
Yeah, closing in 1995, I was 13 years old. We would go to AM&A's all the time. And it's AM&A's, when I grew up here, it's like one word. It's not 3 initials. It's just AM&A's.
Right.
It's like the name.
It's like a condiment.
AM&A's.
I have a little AM&A's on that side.
Exactly.
But what a tradition, and it's cool to see that's kind of being restored.
You're like going downtown and getting dressed up in like your pretty
in your Sunday best.
Coat, in your Sunday best to go down and look at these displays. It's very much like our version of Saks Fifth Avenue and seeing the Saks display in New York City. That was that in downtown. And so now to see this long vacant building that still is in such disrepair and what can it become is something that is very much.
So what building is it now? It's
down on like Main Street across from Main Place Mall, and the big walkway, the pedestrian walkway that went to AM&A's is now going to be torn down. So we still have no idea what's going to happen to that building. But the other AM&A's throughout Western New York, I believe, became Bon-Ton stores before all of those closed. Right. But so many other department stores like Hills, I grew up going to there. And then you walk in and it smells like popcorn when you walk into Hills.
Yeah.
Just a trip down memory lane. And it was great that Dave McKinley got to show us all of those dolls and animatronics that were in the window.
It's so much more personal than shopping with Amazon.
Right.
You go to the store and it's an experience.
Yes.
Now it's.
Yeah. You know, it was also an experience. 11 years ago.
Yes.
Snowvember. Let's show you some of the video. Was it, how many years ago? Why did I say 7?
It was
11 years ago.
It was in 2014.
Yeah. So these are the videos from the 2 On Your Side archives. November 17th, 2014 is when it started. 5 feet of snow fell just south of the city and into the south towns. Oh my gosh, look at that.
Well, remember,
and then it was over the course of several days because
there were
two storms. They were back to back.
Right.
More than a dozen people died in Snowvember. Thousands of drivers were stranded, especially on the throughways. They were impassable. The Route 5 was impassable. And then, another few days later, 4 feet of snow fell in the south towns, hitting about 7 to 8 feet in all.
East Aurora was the big winner in terms of the most. I think it was like 95 inches fell there. Wow. Oh, it's crazy. I mean, it was just, and come to think, we had another one just a couple years ago, these really mammoth lake effect events.
Right. You see the lake effect, the band, and it just stuck and it would not move. And maybe it would go up a little bit or down a little bit, but then it would go back over East Aurora. And I remember sitting on that Daybreak desk with John Beard for hours. We went on early at about 4 a.m. and I worked straight through until 3 p.m. when Scott and Mary Alice took over. An incredible crew here of very brave photographers and reporters out there trying to get to where the worst of it was. We tell all of you to stay inside and stay safe, and our crews are going out trying to cover it and to show you what's happening outside. but it was a grind. It was a marathon.
And it was scary for a lot of our crew and for people stuck out on the thruway. And
hearing these phone calls, we were talking with people on the air that
I'm in the car, I can't get out.
Right, the snow is piling up. I can't get out of my car on the thruway. I'm stuck here. Where do I go? What do I do? And there were so many heroic measures that were gone to in that time, watching, you know, state troopers go on their snowmobiles to go and pick people up from the thruway, and people being taken in by strangers to help feed them and clothe them and give them a place to go because they're stranded out there. It was a scary time. And then we had so many since then, but I feel like that one was the first biggie that I've ever covered in my 23 years.
There were other biggies, but that was one like no other. Yeah. Even though the one in 2022 was kind of similar.
Yeah. It started off a string of really bad ones.
Yeah.
Within, you know, the last 10 years, I'm saying.
Yeah.
But that was the original.
And everything has to come into place. We can, you know, that was just the setup was just extreme and then long lasting.
Right.
Right. So
hopefully we won't see one like that this season. All right. Thanks for joining us. Much quieter weather today. Enjoy it, everybody. We'll see you back here on Daybreak tomorrow from 4:30 to 9:30 a.m.